Okay, guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm back in my normal spot, but my chairs still aren't here. Hopefully tomorrow I'll be back in business because I've got like 2 weeks out scheduled of people to come do home demos here with the Bach. And actually, I'm getting the grand model, the $50,000 model, here in my house to have as a counter to the Bach from Mac, so people will be able to hear and see two different versions of the Bach. And so anyway, if you're in Houston or going to be in Houston, I'm now booked out about 2 weeks, but I'm back in business soon. So just shoot me an email if you're interested. But one other thing, being without my system, is I've been in Disney for Thanksgiving, Capitol Audio Fest. It's been probably the longest time I've been without my system, but it did allow me to get caught up on some videos. So I'm a little bit caught up there, and it also allowed me to do some content in the last couple of days that I've been meaning to do. One, speaking of Capitol Audio Fest, well, even before Capitol Audio Fest, was the Blue Jeans cable from Cedia. I took on review, if you watched my last video on Will I Do Reviews, I did take their newest twin star quad, they call it octo-quad speaker cables, and I didn't even realize until today that I'm one of the only people that even has this. There's only really 1 or 2 ways to get it, and so you're going to want to watch that Zoom for a lot of reasons. I learned a lot about Blue Jeans cable, even why they named it Blue Jeans, and some really impressive things that I did not know about that company and this particular cable, how you can get it. Stay tuned for that. It's coming soon. But also I did a Zoom from Capitol Audio Fest I've been meaning to do with the MACO people. Deborah and Armando, I met them, really cool people. They have a dealership in Toronto and a cool partnership in that respect, but also they partnered in creating a new speaker. And this isn't just some random people working in their garage doing a speaker. Well, they may have done that, but what came out of this is a very refined, especially in the aesthetics. I haven't had a whole lot of chance to listen to it. It was on static display and only got a little bit of time at night. But when talking about aesthetic metrics, this looks like a super high-end speaker, especially for Open Baffles, which tend to have a little bit less sexiness to the cabinetry. There's only so much you can do. These guys they hit it out the park with this Open Baffle, at least for my taste. 2 inches thick of granite, quartz, or wood, depending on what you choose. You're going to hear a lot about that because this is something that I rarely see, and especially under $20,000, things at the show. You know, you can find speakers under that, but you are sacrificing something in the aesthetics. Here we're talking about a speaker where they actually distribute the drivers, so they had access to the manufacturer to get prototypes and things that'll work for this Open Baffle configuration. So it's not just off the shelf doing stuff, do it yourself. There is a little refinement there. You're going to hear about the drivers they chose, the crossover, but again, those aesthetics at the under $20,000 price point, very attractive. And if you're an early adopter, because this is a new line, they're offering 40% off to people that pre-order. So this could be a very attractive option for people, and I want you to, learn a lot more about it. I also invited some of my members of my YouTube channel. Again, if you want to become a member, just hit join. It costs about $5 a month, and you can join our WhatsApp and have access to me and all these 50 other people. A lot of them are experts and have great systems. So I invited them on the call as well, and they get a chance to ask questions. So this Zoom will be basically unedited of that entire call. So hope you enjoy, and again, stay tuned for the Blue Jeans cable coming out later. But first of all, I want to thank you guys for joining. It was great meeting you guys at Capitol Audio Fest, and definitely had one of the most memorable speakers that I'd seen there. I mean, I'm familiar with Open Baffles, single plane baffle type drivers, complement. But I think there was a few things that were super unique about yours, the cabinet material being granite and whatnot, some of the contouring you've done. But I thought it was worthwhile to do a more in-depth dive that we couldn't do live at Capitol Audio Fest to get not only an update, because you were just coming out with these speakers, if I recall correctly, and we're still in the process before, and creating a website as well. So a lot of people were asking questions, talking about the drivers. I know you're using like a whizzer cone type driver for mostly full range, and then wanted to just talk about your choices in that, the baffle choices, kind of a little bit of background on you guys, You guys are very unique. You're based in Canada and have a good partnership here with the dealership. So I wanted to kind of just turn it over to you guys, give a little bit of background, and then I'll chime in with all the questions that have come up either by myself or from others, and then we'll just roll from there.
Yeah, well,
start with you.
you started.
Okay, we'll go a little bit back and forth. So, hi everyone, my name is Deborah. Good introduction. It was really great meeting you, as you mentioned at Capital Audio Fest. Yeah, I mean, I guess just a little bit about me. I've been working in both corporate and nonprofit for, gosh, about 20 years now. The love for audio hadn't really translated into anything entrepreneurial until, I guess, really Armando sparked that, you know, in our friendship. And I always tell this one story, so I'm going to tell it again. My dad had passed away a few years back, and one of the pieces that I inherited was one of those old 1970s, you know, vintage, the cabinet stereo speakers. It was part of our home. It was, you know, just this key piece in my home forever, and it had stopped playing for so many years, but it remained there forever. And so when he passed, we brought it to my place, and it was Armando's idea to just kind of bring it back to life. And I think it was really that synergy, that, you know, that moment when it started playing again, and all the memories flooded back. And I kind of realized at that moment that what he was doing was connected with this. It was so much more than audio. It was so much more than just a piece of equipment. That the beauty of you know, that piece that you have in your home is such a reflection of yourself and, you know, who you are and where you've come from. And I think that was really what launched our partnership into doing this together. So start with that.
That's a cool story because it resonates with something we've been talking about. Probably Bob and John can echo this. We talked about this briefly even today in my WhatsApp group, is that a lot of times the equipment, yeah, you want to chase the latest, greatest, and it's fun to do that. But at the end of the day, what we have the most fun with, and I just did this review of a Musical Fidelity A1, which was my first amp ever. And so that was very instrumental for me in terms of a cool piece, more than just what is on the chassis and what it's about.
Mm-hmm.
It brings back memories and brings another level of enjoyment and nostalgia. So
Yeah.
that's a cool way that you two guys have got together. Now you have a dealership, is that correct?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, well, we have a small listening room where I'm at right now. It's more like a appointment basis, how we use it right now. Yeah.
And you're based near Toronto?
In Toronto, exactly, in Toronto,
Mm-hmm.
downtown in the area called Parkdale. Is the west side of the city.
Okay. So I was there for Toronto Audio Fest, but didn't run into you guys there. But that's a beautiful city. I really enjoyed my first time there.
Yeah, it's funny. We went just for a couple of hours over there at the Toronto Audio Fest, but we met you at the Capital Audio Fest, and I was not expecting to find such a cool guy like you over there.
I was in disguise, but yeah, I appreciated your cool jewelry, and you guys definitely made an impression, both personally and with your speaker. So maybe you can give us the latest since Capital Audio Fest, anything that's changed, or maybe for people that may not have seen that. I know in the background there you can see the designs of the speaker, but maybe give a little bit of background on the speaker, what you guys are doing, when it's going to be released, and all that fun stuff.
For sure. Well, I can do on that. How did that came up? I think it was, you know, I used to. Well, I've been doing speakers for around 9 years now, and I started. I have an architecture background, so to me, design is always very, very important. They have to go at the same part, like form follows function. I think it like they go always have to be at the same level. If it doesn't look good, to me, it doesn't make sense. If even if it sounds good, right? So I always try to balance those things. And it happens that I came here to live in Canada, and I kind of stopped doing that. But in the pandemic, I finally had the time to start working and experimenting again. And I started to doing a couple of boxes and try to do some stuff. I always liked the you know, the what's the word? It's gonna come, but the full range sound. but I never was pleasant because I also like the deep one. I love bass, right? You know, and especially well, I just like it. So I was trying to combine those two things, and so I realized a couple of experiments doing bigger drivers, and the different boxes and doing transmission lines and horns, but I was never satisfied with the sound. There was always something missing. And internal, like I was in the pandemic, finished those models, and I say, okay, there's something else I haven't tried. Like there must be something I haven't tried because I'm not happy with the sound. And I was just looking, and I started looking and researching, and then I found this video on YouTube. Like say, I think I had never tried Open Baffle before. So I just grabbed one of the prototypes I had there, and at the moment it was a tank band driver. I still have it there, and I put it just in a board. I cut the board, I cut the hole, and then I made I used something, and they say, and I hear that Open Baffle, and I will say, wow, I think this is what I'm looking for. Like I saw the possibilities. It was not the, you know, I was still missing a couple of things, and then I started experimenting. But I say, like, this is, I think I can put more effort on this. This is the sound I want to develop, and I from there I started just doing more experimentations, doing bigger, wider, taller, skinnier, smaller baffles, all kinds, and that's how we got into what we have right now.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, every speaker design, as you've kind of found out, I guess, and I've found out the hard way, even probably take me longer, it has a set of trade-offs. But once you find the one that has the least amount of trade-offs for your taste, which it looks like Open Baffle, which is similar for my taste as well, then you can go into, you know, refining that to a level that, again, a lot of people don't gravitate to Open Baffles for a variety of reasons. I don't know exactly why per se, other than they're a little more atypical looking, and sometimes they're not that attractive. But one of the things that you brought up, it has to be attractive, is also something that resonates today. I was at a local dealer, and they had a customer that came in who didn't have a system at all, but he had a budget that was going up to $50,000, and he was initially picking based on aesthetics. This is going to be something in your home, something you're going to look at when it's not playing. To overlook aesthetics is something that you can do at your own peril. And that's one thing that obviously I was on the second floor of Capitol Audio Fest, and I saw these Open Baffles on the table at Via Blue. And that's when I decided to come down. I was going to come down anyway and say hi to Via Blue. But yeah, these stood out. They're just the subtle differences from them and like a spatial or pure audio project are very meaningful, at least for my taste. So kudos to you on creating something really attractive. But when it came to, you were talking about melding a full range driver with bass. This whizzer cone type driver, is this basically a stock driver, or is this something you had custom made?
No, it's actually based on LiiSong Drivers. We also started experimenting with LiiSong. Actually, we are the distributor for Canada for those drivers. Okay. So that gave us the opportunity to even try their prototypes. They've been very supporting to us, because when I contact them, they say, "Hey, I'm a speaker designer. I need to do all this stuff. Can we do something?" And it turned out that opportunity came, and I was excellent. From there, they sent me prototypes that for drivers they didn't release before, and that's how we came out to this one.
Oh, that's great. So you work directly with them and distribute, and these are prototypes that you've found that work for you.
Exactly, and at the end, well, we're going to release our own drivers, so based on their signature sound, but yeah, it's going to be our own their own MACO driver for this.
Yeah, so they basically call that a whizzer cone.
Yeah, it's a whizzer cone. That one is just to distribute the highs, spread them out a little bit more direction. Yeah, and go.
So for people that may have preconceived notions with whizzer cone drivers from way in the past, when they might have been a little bit limited in frequency extension and all those kind of things, that's something that may not be applicable now with the technology, and like you've talked about, prototypes that have advanced. That's one of the biggest things that has advanced over the years in the hobby. So you're getting good extension with these, is that right?
Yeah, on this one we're doing all the way up to 16,000.
16,000 hertz. Okay.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah, measurable. It all depends on down, but I think even in the Baffle driver, sorry, in the granite, I think we're reaching higher because the
Oh, is that right?
definition. Yeah, it really helps with that. So you will be surprised. That's the other one of the other things. What we started experimenting with materials, and then it just came out the idea of making it with granite. And it was not even like to release it right away, but it turned out that the experiment turned out so good that say, okay, this is the material we need to do, because it really helps the driver to really sing, and it really helps to separate everything. It's a whole thing. And so we were kind of we're happy because it was not planned. It was planned to be done maybe 2-3 years from now. We were planning to do it with the wood, but everything came out to the point that we can do it with granite or quartz, and it's gonna sound amazing.
No, that's great, because my experience with Open Baffles, one of the trade-offs has always been the cabinet baffle is less secure, firm, more susceptible to resonances. And other speakers I've seen, from spatial to pure audio projects, there's always a little bit of play, a little bit of more vibrations in that style of cabinet, just inherently physics. There's just not enough mass there. But this actually looks great, but also has, as you've noticed, performance enhancing traits. Now, you also have contoured around the driver to make the baffle even a little thinner than traditional ones that have been that single plane. You found that helps as well?
Yeah, of course. No, actually, in order, I was checking, and I really based also a lot of my work in pure audio project and in spatial audio. Like obviously I use like who's doing this and who's doing really good, and I was just trying to find what they're not doing, and I also use the Deckware. They're doing like the thick baffles, based on a driver similar to this, and I was checking what's not happening, and I found out that at the end they're using very thin baffles, right? And they're trying to make them wider, and then they're putting weight. They say mass always helps, but I found out what they were doing, they're putting the mass in the base, right? So at the end, you always have that flapping when you have thing here and the weight down. So I'd say that's not really helping the driver. So even from my earlier design, I say the mass has to be in the baffle. Like I have some prototype here. I can show you like the mass always was in the baffle. And let me show you. And this is actually the first one we made. If you see, we're going like 2.5 inches only of ply. And then I started shaping all the shapes, and this is basically the baffle for our lowest entry level, and you can see that all those things have been taken care. And even like this, when we hear this one, say, yeah, it really helps having that mass right there in the baffle. And the other benefit of having the mass here on the top is that you don't need a supporting structure. So we were able to make it super simple, like very minimal parts, because the same baffle is the whole structure to supporting your drivers.
No, that's an incredible baffle, and in really that negates a lot of the concerns people have had, and I've had with Open Baffles. I mean, mine has to have a lot of no-res type material, extra material to dampen it. But if you can put it in the material, the baffle itself, I had always thought Panzerholz would be great, but yeah, obviously, this material and that thickness is a huge advantage, and probably part of why these will cost a little bit more than some of the other Open Baffles. But I don't think people should overlook how much performance advantage this can give you, especially when you're playing certain levels of volume.
Yeah, it's super noticeable. Like it was not easy to find someone to be able to do this one. I think, sorry, that was the hardest part to do.
Right.
But yeah, at the end, we found the right ones to really be able to make this baffle. And from there, we found a way to do the same thing, exactly the same design into granite. So
the other good thing that I've noticed, because you're using a full range driver, you probably have a very minimal crossover. Do you mind
yeah,
sharing how you cross it over, or anything, or is that proprietary, anything?
yeah. No, it's here. I don't have it here. Yeah, it's very simple. Let me just disconnect it. I have it right here.
You can see in the back the boxes, the MACO boxes. Those are actually the casings. It's one of the early designs, may change, but that's our crossover. So here we had the inside there to show at CAF as well. But that's part of the package for folks who purchase.
This
So
is
it
our
comes in its
prototype.
own box. Okay, cool.
It would come in its own, yeah, MACO box.
Yeah,
not like this.
If you see, we're using like a lot of copper here, and then the capacitor here is basically what we have right now. Is more like a second order low pass filter, and that's it.
Yeah, so you're really not,
a couple
yeah.
of resistors, but they are super high quality, because you will surprise. Well, the bass really helps, because this inductor basically, well, you reduce the resistance a lot, so you really feel how empowers the bass with this.
So around what frequency would the bass driver take over?
300.
300, okay.
Yeah, it changes a little depending on when you wire, because right now when you do it at 8 ohms, yeah, it goes around 300. Change when you because, well, the driver we're using on the bottom, that's a famous driver called the W15 that has 2 coils, so you can wire it up at 8 or 4 ohms.
Okay, and that's a paper cone driver.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So is it a very steep crossover, or?
Yeah, it's second order. It's maybe not so low. We were trying just one, but I think it was better if we got those frequencies. Let's say it's not as steep. It's like in the middle.
Gotcha.
Not too loose, not too tight. Just
yeah, because sometimes those bass drivers don't like playing too far up, or you get a mismatch and you lose some of the coherency that you gain by using a full range driver. So yeah, that's great. Yeah.
This driver can play super high. Actually, I think it can play up to 2000. Well, it's not the best, obviously, for that, but yeah, it's the benefit of using this one.
In terms of powering them, how efficient will they be and friendly
we're right now at 88 ohms with this crossover. It all depends. People were asking you that question on Capital Fest a lot. But let's say if you go, you can also do by amping, then you will have 97 dBs on the top and 83 dBs on the bottom. So right now we're just maybe around the middle, about 88 dBs.
So you can basically use 2 different amps if you want.
Yeah, which is the beauty of Open Baffle. At the end, we created a platform that you can do whatever you want, and it's not gonna mess up with the thing. It's just there. It's simply just changing wires, and you're doing.
You have easy access to everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. On both sides, you paid attention to the look and the aesthetic. Those drivers are beautiful. Yeah. Yeah,
I'm gonna just pull it out here. Let's see.
Yeah. Very clean.
This is how you move it, and this is the heavy one.
Yeah.
You gotta walk it a little bit.
Yeah. I'm sure they are pretty heavy, but how heavy is that thickness of a cabin?
This one is the quartz. We're talking about 120 pounds.
Wow.
For this one.
No, they were very impressive. I hope it comes through on the screen. But yeah, they stood out to me from, like I said, the second floor of the hotel room. I could see them from a distance, and I said, I got to take a look. So I think life acceptance factor and just general attractiveness to audiophiles in general I definitely place these higher than the Pure Audio projects in the spatials for my personal taste. And I love the quartz black and white, but also that the granite, do you have different types of granite, or is basically what we're looking at 3 options?
Yeah, we have, well, the granite, we only have one because this quarry is from Quebec. So it's basically from Canada. It's, I think it's the most famous quarry they have over there. So at this moment, we're going to start only with that one, which is this black granite from Quebec for now. And we're going to start with white quartz. But at the end, in the long run, we will, the idea is to make basically custom made, like if you want a very specific stone from anywhere in the world, we should be able to get it. Like we've been talking with this family that's been working with stone for over 50 years. And they say, yeah, if you want me to get you a very special quarry from Brazil or from Italy or whatever, like you could really have a one-of-a-kind speaker, and they can make it to order. But that's maybe later. So for now, we're gonna start.
I'm sure that the next question a lot of people are going to be asking is how much and when can I get this?
Dev?
Sure. Well, one thing that's been an update since we talked to you is we're actually finally confirmed that we will be at Expona. So I'm just going to put that out. So we are going to be at Expona. We have our room 686. So just that's one thing we wanted to let everyone know. In terms of being available, so right now we have people signing up to this is our kind of a pre-launch. So I know we've debuted, but we're actually doing an official launch around, I'd say February. Is when we're finally going to be taking orders so that we'd be able to produce in and around, let's say April, around there. So we'll say spring. It'll all depend kind of how quickly those things work. But by the time we're at Expona, we should be able to be taking orders for sure.
And so you were talking about maybe if you can share the retail price that these are targeted for, but also I think you were offering the fact that because it's a new line, early adopters have quite a great opportunity right now.
Exactly. So we're offering 40% for early adopters who sign up and reserve for that special invitation, which will come out in February. Our Birch, which is our entry model, that is the first configuration that Armando showed, the one that he was holding up, with our grounded base, because we do have 2 options of base, that starts around 6,000 US, and then we go up to the quartz with the floating leg. You can kind of see it in the back. The floating leg is the one that's obviously off the ground, and that goes to 14,000, and of course 40% off.
Yeah, that's really attractive for that
as
kind
we
of
start
aesthetic.
And as we start making tweaks, we'll see what happens. You know, things may change going forward, but for now, that's exactly what we're looking at. So
yeah, I gotta say that's quite attractive package of looks and potential performance. I didn't get a chance to because we had dinner reservations that night. I couldn't listen to it a lot. I'd love to spend more time with them in the future. Definitely at Expona, I'll be stopping by for sure. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys again and hearing this. But in the interim, you've got to sign up. I'll probably put that in the description that people can sign up and get more information. Also, you were working on a website, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. So the website right now is the launch campaign. So the one that you'd be putting up, it's macoacoustic.com. That will get you signed up. But eventually what we'll do is we'll have that same URL will remain the same. Maco Acoustic will become its own website for the brand itself. So it'll just kind of transition. People don't really need to come up with a new or bookmark anything new. It'll transfer.
Okay. And in case of people that are into the specs or want to see like anechoic or quasi-anechoic measurements, are y'all going to have anything like that?
Yeah, so that's definitely part of it. And also just to add that anybody who becomes a VIP, we have a VIP Facebook group as well. So for anyone who's signing up, we have kind of, we call it insider information, but that's where we kind of post things first there. So the flow goes there, but absolutely it'll be on the website also. And just to also reiterate that the price that we were talking about, that includes the Via Blue cabling. It also includes the crossover, so it's not just the speaker itself.
And the absorbers, the leg has a Via Blue absorbers.
Yeah, so those components.
Yeah, that's very important as well, because vibrations from such a big driver, both getting into your floor and anything coming back up, that decoupling is definitely helpful. So yeah, it's a great partnership. So Yeah, this is great news. I'm glad you could share a little bit more, and I'm sure we'll be continuing getting people updated, because this is right up my alley, and a lot of people that watch my channel love Open Baffles. And for those that want that next level of aesthetic, plus a full range driver, not a very complicated crossover, where I think a lot of other people, like Armando was saying, may have taken other courses. This is a different course that may be attractive to very many people. So let me go ahead and open it up to some questions from the people, and if we have any. Bob, John, Lowell, I went ahead and unmuted you.
Yeah, no immediate questions, but I'm excited about your company. Yeah.
Thank you.
So the first opportunity to hear them would be at Expona?
It would be Expona unless you happen to be in Toronto, because we have them here. So they are here.
Gotcha.
We're there. Yeah.
Do you have any plans to go to the show in Southern California? The show, and I think it's in June.
Probably not. Well, I can't say no. We just know that Expona is our first. That's where we're headed, and then after that, the hope is that we would just continue from there. So where we end up after that is hopefully all of them if we can.
Yeah, very exciting.
Since we're doing the Kickstarter, the crowdfunding campaign, our main goal will be start delivering whatever we get from this first batch of for the campaign, and then Expona, hopefully we get just start like the open public sale, and then from there we can plan other shows.
I will say that there is a show in March put on by the same people, the Capital Audio Fest, and it's right up the street from me in Dallas. You know, 4 hours.
Yes.
I definitely will be at that. So if you did want to put something on the agenda, that's one that I would highly recommend. And I think it's the first year that they're doing a show in Dallas. So we're going to have quite a contingency, including myself, going up there. So yeah, if y'all do that, I'll definitely.
Yeah, I think. Well, I think since we're gonna do direct to the customer sale for now, I think we need to going from show to show to really people hear them.
Yeah.
Because that's the model that most direct consumers are using. Get the show as basically your showroom and get to meet you firsthand. And it seems to be a very successful model. Anecdotally, what I know in the industry, some people are thinking of doing away with the distributor, like the PS Audio model. They kind of went direct as well. So yeah, best of luck with you guys on that. I think you're taking the right course and definitely off on the right foot. And I'm glad you could share some more on that tonight. Anything else, guys? Yeah,
I have a question there. Really quick, is the great looking speakers, are the feet adjustable or the height adjustable? It's kind of hard to tell from
on this one. At the end, it was planned from the beginning to do it adjustable. Actually, we have it's an M8 thread.
I see, right
here that we could add here. But at the end, for the height and everything, I think we found it unnecessary. But it's always an option to the customer. If you can also add a different kind of leg on the back, and you can basically adjust the tilt for the speaker.
Right. Okay. Makes sense.
We have the other leg that is the single leg. That one you will be able to adjust the tilting for the leg. Let me show it to you.
They shimmy.
Let's see if you can see it here. I have this is the granite without, you will see. There.
Gotcha.
So on this one you will see it like here, and this one will have this model. Basically, you will be able to tilt back and forth because this one goes to the ground.
Excellent.
Yeah, and that's the entry level. Yeah.
One thing I want to tell people is to go back to my Capital Audio Fest video, especially the one that I may have filmed. Well, either one. I have 2 videos where you were in 2 different locations in the main foyer area, and then also you had a table. Even your badge, your emblematic badge for the label for your brand was very attractive. Again, paying attention to that nth level of aesthetics is something I'm not used to seeing with this style of open baffle. And yes, the price point's different, but for me, putting something in my house, you really hit the nail on the head, at least for my taste. And I think a lot of people can't really tell, you know, your branding on there and that badge, but it's very attractive. And my other videos will probably have it a little more close for people to check out.
Yeah, and there's a couple more hidden details that you once you have them in person you will see. But yeah, we put a lot of effort on really delivering solely of super high quality here, and that's why we decided to make it here in Canada, everything, so we can control every detail of it.
Yeah, that little beveling, almost kind of a quasi waveguide style around, and you can tell it in the black granite in the back. It almost looks like a gray ring, the way it's catching the light differently. Those are the subtle things that really give the speaker a whole nother level of refinement and high-end looks. And again, yeah, everything I heard in my brief audition showed a lot of promise. So definitely can't wait to hear more. And I thank you guys for sharing some more on this.
No, thanks for the
Thank
opportunity to let us show our speaker our work.
Yeah, well, I'm sure we'll be in touch soon. Thanks again for your time. Don't want to take too much. I know y'all are an hour ahead of me, but yeah, thanks to all the guys that joined. And I'm sure we'll be in touch going forward.
Wish you
Thank
good
you
luck.
so much. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you all.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye
Good
bye.
night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks, bye.